Hey everybody, it's Ray. Making this video tonight because I have had a really interesting day. I went to a workshop, and in the workshop we were kind of looking at self-awareness, leadership, and team building. And during the workshop leader told a story about a man who had had a horse and the horse ran away, and he didn't know whether he should feel good about that or bad about that, even though his neighbor came over and said, "I'm so sorry that your horse ran away." And so then the horse came back the next day, and evidently it was a male horse, and it came back with all these little female horses. And so the neighbor came over and said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you that you have all of these new horses." And the original man said, "I'm not sure if I should feel good about this, if I should be excited about it or not. I'm not sure how to feel about it." And so then the next day his son was riding one of the horses, and he fell off. He got bucked off the horse, and he broke his leg. And the neighbor came over and he said, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry that your son broke his leg. I'm just so sorry about that. That's awful." And the man said, "Well, actually I'm not sure if it's an awful thing, or, I'm not sure how to feel about it." And the neighbor was thinking, okay, your son broke his leg. But the next day a warlord came through, and he was looking for people to enlist in the troops. And the son couldn't go because he had broken his leg. And so that kind of shows us that, when fate or life brings a certain thing your way, you never know what the purpose of it is and what it's going to do. And it's kind of cheating the future to make a decision too early about how to take that thing. So that being said, that long story, and thank you for listening to it. Today is a really significant day in anniversary day for my life. And today is the 20th anniversary of my mom having a heart attack that eventually sent her to the hospital. And for 3 weeks she was in a coma. And after that 3 weeks she passed away. I was 21 when that happened. And of course it drastically changed my life. And there's not a part of me that's willing to say, "Oh, I'm not sure how I feel about that," like the man was able to do. But the truth is that because my mom passed away, I was given, I don't know if we want to think of it as an opportunity, but I was given a chance to make some things happen in my life that have made me the person that I am, and have put me in a place of being able to help people through difficult times. And I kind of think of myself as maybe not a change maker, but I witness change for a lot of people in the same way that a midwife helps to bring babies into the world. I feel like I help to make people shift from one part of their life and into another. And that's part of my job, but it's also been just part of my calling for years and years. And so I think that has happened because of the kind of change that I went through in losing my mom at such a young age. So today I've kind of been thinking about that role that I've taken on, and the gratitude I have for where I'm at in my life right now. I've also been thinking about the quality of grief that I have, and how it's sort of a much more mature grief. Of course, it's had 20 years to mature, so it's like it's graduated and it's about to move out on its own and all that stuff. But certainly I don't feel anymore like I'm a victim. For so long I felt like I was the victim of this most horrible thing that could happen to a 21-year-old. I was also I was about to get married, and so this is it kind of affected my first marriage, and just all kinds of things happen because of it. But in the long run, I didn't have to go off to war. So, to use that story, in the long run, I have a beautiful life, and I'm a wiser woman because of it. And I have a heart that has, very deep channels of empathy and compassion, because I understand what it is to lose. And I also know that, no matter how bad life gets and no matter what's given you, it's possible to rise above that. And I know that firsthand because I feel like I did rise above it. So, also, I think because I'm coming up on this 20-year anniversary that'll happen in September, but certainly, the heart attack that my mom had was, that was the beginning of losing her. And so this day, every summer feels like that day that, just sort of like living it all over again to some degree. Some years it's harder than others. But as I was saying, it feels like this year, because it's the 20th year, that there is some kind of change that's happened. And last night I had a dream that I was sort of in this alternate reality, that I'd sort of been sucked into this alternate reality, and that things were upside down and crazy and didn't always make sense, and almost felt like I wasn't myself in that reality. It was a lot like Alice in Wonderland. And that I was able to find this kind of door to get out. And I had a hard time. I almost didn't want to leave the reality because I felt like I had been in there so long that it had become instead of becoming the alternate reality, it became the reality, the truth. But when I found the door and I could look through the door to where I had been before, I realized that that was a place that I wanted to at least visit. And so today I kind of felt like I was in the middle of these two worlds, this world of like things being turned upside down and me not knowing who I am, and or me sort of being forced to make it in that world, versus a world where, I don't know, like I could start over. And so in some ways today, I just decided to sort of play this game, that this could be a starting over time for me. And I decided that some of the labels maybe that I had given myself, or that other people had given me that I didn't like, that I didn't want to live with, that I might just try to see what it would be like to live as if those things weren't true anymore. And one of those things has been a really significant part of my life, I don't know, over the last at least probably 10 or 15 years. And that is that I'd had this really bad fall early on as a young woman, and I hurt my back. And the back healed, but it kind of messed my hormones up. And anytime I would tell a doctor about it, they were like, they sometimes wouldn't even listen to the story. I'd be like, I hurt my back and my hormones are messed up because of it. And then I found out that sometimes if I went to a chiropractor, that it would help clear up some of the problems. Well, this last week I went to my chiropractor and I said, look, I want to try this. I want you to give me an adjustment. I want to see what happens. And suddenly the problems that I was having cleared up. And so I'm making a decision that I don't have that problem anymore, and I'm going to regularly go see my chiropractor. And so I'm curious about where that can happen in other places in my life, where I can take the label off that says I'm hurt here, that says I can't do this or I should do that. And somehow that feels connected to that 20 years. And so I'm foreseeing that in the next couple of months that the changes that I've been trying to make here through making videos, kind of fuzzy here, come on back, there we go. The changes that I'm trying to make by making videos, that might even deepen further. So I hope that you are enjoying this journey with me. I want to thank you so much for the time that you spend listening, and I hope my story touches you, and I'd love to hear your stories as well. So feel free to contact me and connect. That's what this is about for me. That's what this journey is about. So cheers and blessings for you tonight, and I hope you have a beautiful day tomorrow. Bye.